In the mid-1990s, stunt riding emerged as an aggressive street phenomenon characterized by mayhem and chaos. It took over a decade for the sport to find itself, and in 2006, the XDL Championship Series was born. In the 5 seasons since then, XDL has vaulted itself into the ranks of the fastest-growing action sports in America. Inside XDL is a behind-the-scenes look at the 2010 season as our cameras follow the top contenders and capture all the action and drama of the chase for the national championship.
Track is hot, track is hot.
I feel like, you know, this is the year. It's a breakthrough year for us, and I think that this is going to be the year that we get some good deals and some things start to really work out for us. My agent is super positive, and he has some fairly A-list clients in the race industry that make him a bunch of money, and he hasn't really made much off me at all, but he's hopeful and he's positive, and he thinks that this is for sure the year. The competition series has evolved so much, and XDL has really stepped up, and one of my main selling points to sponsors right now is that I'm competing in the XDL series, and it really sort of holds a prestige now. You know, this is it. You know, if you're competing in XDL and you're doing well, you're on top of your game.
As far as riding goes, I mean, the guys are stepping it up. I mean, I had a session yesterday with like 10 of the top guys, and the skill level's raising so fast. I mean, there's a reason why this is the fastest growing sport.
I definitely think that at any time at XDL, there's 20 guys that can be in top 8.
Doing an East Coast event can be pretty exhausting. We all fly in from the West Coast, so we're flying all day, get in around midnight. By the time all the meetings are done, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. You know, you're pretty wiped out by that time. And at Daytona, it was raining, so that really put a damper on things. First day usually starts at 6 in the morning, and having just gone to bed at 2 or 3, you know, we're all really, really tired, and it's rough, and you just have to tough it out. But at least the sun had come out, so things were looking a little bit better.
So you gotta holler at my phone. I am always on the road.
On the first competition day, we finish off the venue. We do stuff like hang the banners, put up the flags, we do a sound check, we set up the tents, we prepare the track, and we set up all the timing equipment. And then really after that, it's showtime.
So we got time for about a blunt and a half. And a toast to the preachers and the teachers who curse me for never coming to class or late running the mass. I tell them that class ain't something you pass. You in first when you ain't paid for what's in your glass.
Opening the season at Daytona was really important for us because we're still the new kid on the block, and we really have to prove ourselves to the industry. And we do that by the relationships that we build up. So this was a big deal because now we can say we're a series that opens at Daytona, closes at Indy, and that's not too shabby for, you know, a series that's only been around for 5 years.
Going to Daytona for Bike Week is super exciting for me, but I don't know about going on the first weekend, man. Randy doesn't know, but there's nobody there on the first weekend ever, so it's going to be interesting.
Our first competition was the Aprilia All-Star Challenge. It's actually one of my favorites because we created it, you know, ourselves, and it combines racing with sport bike freestyle. The guys ride stock Aprilia SXV 4.5s, and they have to do a rolling burnout through a set of cones. They have to scrape the tail in the 12 o'clock position, and they have to do a target stoppie. The guy that can do all this in the shortest amount of time wins. There's no judging involved, so it's a really straightforward competition, and I really like it. In 2008 and 2009, we had opened this up to basically anybody that wanted to ride the Aprilias, and sometimes we'd get people that really maybe shouldn't have been riding the bikes. So we decided for 2010, let's not do that. Let's nominate who gets to compete in this competition. At least that's what I thought the plan was. And then at the riders meeting, you know, Thomas opens it up to people that are going to be willing to commit to the whole series, which in theory might have been a good plan, but what it ended up doing, it once again put people on the bikes that maybe shouldn't have been riding them.
I happen to be standing over there, and Tony L pulls up after he misses the wheelie, misses the stoppie, and skips a cone. And he pulls up, and I'm like, dude, you suck.
That's one of those things that's kind of been a long time coming.
The wheelie or the stoppie, dude.
The wheelie stop, go beat me.
It ain't about me, it's about you.
Call me out, go beat me. So Thomas goes and just throws a little jab, you know what I mean? And of course he's going to take offense to it because he's just used to people just constantly beating him up, throwing stuff in his face because he's known as that type of rider.
Exactly, and I'm talking to every single person. And you happen to be the first one.
I'll enter any damn comp I want.
Okay.
That's how it is.
All right.
I am.
Oh, you'll never ride this way.
Why?
How about that? How
Because
about
I
that?
entered it.
You want to argue with me?
You're gonna turn somebody off or something? You can't put me off of it. I paid my money. I'm here.
He just lost it. He just went at Thomas, and I thought Thomas was going to go to the side and take a swing or two.
You didn't hit nothing. And I said you sucked, and now you're all butthurt.
No. You just said I'll never ride again, and you're saying I'm wasting the time.
When did I say you'll never ride again?
I love these cameras. How cool is this? Okay.
Okay, let's go over here. Let's go over here. You want to act badass in front of a camera? Let's go over here. Yo. Talk some more crap to me, and I told him he won't ride at XDL ever again. You know what? Go home and don't come back tomorrow. How about that? I just kicked Tony L out of XDL.
Sorry I did it. You may not like me. I may not like you. I don't really care. I'm coming back to XDL. I'm going to ride the Aprilia Challenge. You're going to ride that mic, and you're going to talk about me. Good, bad, or whatever, I'm still going to be here, bud.
Man, my whole point with the Aprilias was that if you're not going to do the whole season or you don't have money for Havasu saved up already, you shouldn't even be riding them. And who has money in their savings account to pay for gas to get to the Havasu? Okay. Who's planning on riding these Aprilias at every single event? I walk over and there's a whole bunch of people like putting their gear on, getting ready to ride them, and I happen to see Tony riding, and he pops a wheelie, but like doesn't even try to scrape, skips the stoppie pretty much, and you know I guess he figured out you could gain a couple seconds if you didn't really attempt. And I just said something to him, and he got all butthurt because I guess everybody picks on him all the time or whatever, and whatever. I don't even care. He showed up, you know, next day, and I just decided to take him in the trailer and talk to him about it. You shouldn't operate like that. I don't like people that operate like that.
It's like, all right.
I don't like people that operate. I understand NASCAR, we use different size flow restrictors and try to get away with every little thing.
Cross, you scrub.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. I understand that.
The lower you are, the faster you are, you know? Ask Joe when he races supermotos.
We don't operate like that. Basically, I wanted him to acknowledge the fact that he cheated, and I wanted him to apologize to the other riders about it, and if he did that, I was cool with it. You good with that?
Yeah, fine with
I mean, we need to do it right now. Okay.
So yesterday during the Low Aprilia Challenge, I kind of tried to scrub a little time, but not trying to scrape because I found a little loophole and kind of used that and capitalized on that. And sorry.
Tony's gonna be riding, and it's all good.
Good deal.
Don't manipulate my system ever.
I was just glad to get the whole Tony L thing behind us because we had a second day of competition ahead of us and it was going to be a tough one. It was raining, temperatures were in the 40s, the track was getting really slick, and we noticed that we weren't getting enough foot traffic into the venue. So we had a lot to deal with.
When you're riding as much as we do, you know, you can pretty much ride in any weather, so as you can see, so rain isn't going to really stop anybody today.
It's cold, but this is XDL. This is what it's about. It's got to rain sometimes. It's got to rain on your game, so just got to get through it.
The traction out there isn't any good, so it's going to affect everybody for sure. It's like seal coated, which we couldn't tell until it rained. You know?
Basically what happens is everyone crashes real hard, but I use tire warmers when it's raining like this. Not many people have those, but it helps a lot.
Oh, I have them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A couple extra sets too,
Yeah,
right?
a couple extra sets. They're in my rig over there, right next to the
Yeah, but tire warmers, and then you usually try to put, an excess amount of grip tape everywhere.
And I had that in my gear bag. Because I was like, it's going to rain one day.
But there's one thing too. people that don't ride in the rain are probably not going to do well in the rain. So I've already got so much rain riding from where I live in Minnesota that I don't really feel like riding right now at all.
As the second day went on, things were actually going pretty well on the track, even with all the rain. But we still had this issue of, not enough people being in the venue. First we thought it was the weather. We looked at it a little bit better, and we were right next to the Daytona International Speedway vendor area, and I didn't think that there was enough traffic coming from that area. So we went to go see Brian at DIS to see if there's something we could do to fix that.
And then I don't know if you had any other ideas.
Well, we're making 27 signs that we're putting out on property, and we're mainly focusing on our lot 1, which is the lot that's right next to you guys. Yeah, the vendor area that's up there, because that's really the metrics and everything else that's happening up there. So we're breadcrumbing all the way along the way to get them to come down, shoot them through our hospitality village, and then we're going to come down to the to your gate entrance. But most of the signs are actually going to be placed out on in the vendor midway area.
This here, right here, right?
Actually, we're looking. This is more of the custom stuff here. So the metric stuff is all through this lot 1 here. Okay. So we're breadcrumbing actually starting right here because people are coming in through here and driving down here. So we're breadcrumbing here, keeping them moving this way, and then this is the demo road out front here. So we're going to breadcrumb all the way down along here. What we're going to do is we're going to shoot them into our hospitality village from both ways, this way and this way, and then out here and into the parking lot.
Working with Brian was great. I really felt that he was super responsive, and we'd really done everything we could to fix the problems. So the rest of the day was all about putting on the best possible show. And one of the issues that we had left was the slippery surface. It made K&N Circle Challenge a battle of survival, essentially. I mean, if you didn't crash, chances were you're going to do really well. It ended up being a really close battle between Jesse Toller and Aaron Colton, with Jesse barely taking the win by something like a quarter turn. And it looked like a tie, and then, upon closer analysis, you could see that he was ahead by about a quarter turn. So it was a good one. It was a really good one.
We like close battles. Oh, shit goes down.
Well, it was real wet. The one thing I did is, I figured it's going to be like attrition. Like, I knew that if I went only 70% instead of 100%, I would make it further and probably not crash. So I went with that. I went with that mindset and just kind of kept it fast. Where obviously it was spinning at a high, highest enough rate to get me to the final. But I just really didn't feel like crashing and not making it anywhere. So I kind of set the bar at an even pace, so I knew that I could do well. I mean, Circle Challenge is a cool event. It's head-to-head. I mean, they kind of bracket it out, so you get to go against random competitors, and then in the end, it cycles out just like NCAA football does. It tears off into the fastest from each side go against each other. So it was nice. I ended up making it through every single one of my rounds. Made it to the last round, and then I'm like, oh, I got this. And we were going, and then both Jesse's side and my side said 10 at the same time. So when it came down, it was kind of inconclusive. I was like, I don't know if we have to ride again or what it was, but then I guess they determined that Sick Jay said 10 before Tice did, so I guess he did take the win. So I ended up getting second in that event.
All right, let's get it back in.
So you're coming out first here in Sickness Trick. What are you planning on doing with all these extras you got going on?
There's no danger here. Juggling fire. You better get it right. You better get it right.
Oh, down on the ground. I called that one. All right, up next, our current reigning national champion, Yamaha rider, one of the nicest bikes in the business right here, this R6. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bill Dixon. Bill, say what's up. Oh, he hits it. Give it up, Bill Dixon.
100 feet. I see some high numbers up there. Oh, 9, 9, 10, 10, and 10. Bill Dixon strongly securing the lead right there.
I do think the FMF Cup is really the true test to a rider, you know, and especially this year now with the new judging and the new format, it's phenomenal. What we've done this year is change it to 3 2-minute runs. What this is going to allow is this is going to allow the rider to have at least one go for broke run. Whereas in the past, riders go out and they're so hesitant to go big because they're worried about crashing, and if you crash in the past, you're done. You're not going to win, you're not going to podium, you're not going to place. This year we have one throwaway, so you can go for it. You know, give yourself a safety run, set yourself up, go for, you know, have a go for broke run, or even have another safety run just so you get 2 in the bag, and then have a go for broke run. And you know, if you pull it, obviously you're going to be rewarded, but if you don't, it's not going to knock you out of contention completely. So I think that this format this year is really going to push the riders to the next level.
I think everything's going to be told this weekend. We'll see how the event's going to run. We'll see how the guys are riding, see what everybody learned in the off season, because it's every month now. We're pumping it in. One show's this month, and we got another show next month, and then the month after that, and the month after that. I mean, that's not much time to practice, so we're really going to see what everybody's got this weekend.
Dan Jackson is down right now.
And the whole weekend's kind of been bad luck, you know, with crashing in practice, coming down with the flu, and then in my final, just starting out, got blown off with the elevator trick again. I just kind of lost balance, fell backwards, nothing to catch me, ended up falling down, hitting my head. Got real pissed off, jumped off, got my bike, and just started riding like an animal, maniac, just being real aggressive. Came into a few tricks later, started rev limiter burnout, just got a little bit too aggressive, and the surface out there is a little slick, so I got my tire spinning too fast and just drifting out of it, high-sided me, causing me to just high-side and flip me up over the bars, and next thing I know, I was just barrel rolling down the pavement with my bike on top of me.
It kind of sucks that I squittered up like this, but I mean, I guess it happens to the best of us, and there's a lot of guys on top kind of having a hard run at it, but what can I say? It happens. I mean, at least I'm riding. It's been 5 months, and I've really gotten to grip it. I got to kind of ride this week, get a feel for the bike, and go for it. So I got a lot of work to do this season and catch up on those months that I lost and start killing it again. You know, I bombed. I bombed twice in a row. I've never bombed twice in a row. This is miserable. Might as well tell me, hey, congratulations, you got herpes. Yay.
Felt really good about my last run. Had a few bobbles, but I think everybody did. And as far as everything goes, my second run was probably my best run, but I still had a few bobbles in that. I mean, we'll see how the end result comes, you know, as far as the end of the day. Rick Hart had an awesome run, phenomenal run. So did Luke Duke. I mean, I can't wait to see what the score's going to be at the end of the day.
Going into this season, as in 2010, I definitely I want to repeat. That's what I want. That's my goal.
He is developing his own style, and he got real aggressive. Luke Evans.
definitely happy. Bill is a hard guy to beat. This is my third bridesmaid finish to him in the past 3 respective competitions.
In my crossover, I've got to see a lot of different, regiments of racing, some club racing, some pro AMA stuff, the XDL developing throughout the years, and I'm glad to see that I come to an event now that I feel highly professional, it runs off the clock, get things going, keeps the ball rolling, and then even if there is problems, try to work around that.
Man, Daytona was just torture. After the weather, being on the first weekend of bike week, and all the drama over the Aprilias, I'm drained. And like the season's just now starting. But thinking about it though, the spot, super sick spot, right on International, right at the Speedway. We get on the second weekend next year, it's gonna be good. And I noticed that a lot of the guys really stepped up their riding, man. Bill won, but he's not unbeatable. So just a little bit more nipping at Bill's heels, man. Somebody's gonna take him out this year for sure.
Man, I tell you, Daytona was a really tough way to start the season. But it's still one of our most promising venues. So as much as it was a drag to do it this year, I am really looking forward to 2011 because I know it's going to be great.
Next time on Inside XDL.
Riders are encouraged to pin it to win it and go for it, and that's what we're here to do. I've dedicated my life pretty much to doing this.
Hi, I'm Randy Grube, founder of XDL.
And I'm Thomas.
I wanted to thank you for watching Inside XDL and for following our sport. And to get a closer look at what we do, check us out at xdlshow.com.
If you want the hot street action, go to stuntride.com.
Previously on Inside XDL.
Man, I tell you, Daytona was a really tough way to start the season.
Okay,
let's go over here. Let's go over here.
I just kicked Tony L out of XDL.
Rev limiter burnout, just got a little bit too aggressive.
I know who won first place, Bill Dixon.
If you're competing in XDL and you're doing well, you're on top of your game.
Track is hot, track is hot.
How I met Luke, I was watching him ride for a few different events, and as far as how I don't really remember where I met him, how I met him, but I do remember when I asked him if he wanted to ride for us, because by him saying yes, that was kind of like the high point for me at least.
I met Aaron in Nashville. I sent my girlfriend over to grab some stickers from Racing 905 because I found out they were paying contingency. I ended up winning that XDL. From there, I called up Aaron about a month after XDL, and I was asking him if he was interested in any sponsorship.
We follow the sport, we get so involved with it, and I mean, it's just something I wanted to accomplish just because I just think that there's some riders that I wanted to get more connected with, and I wanted to, help them.
Being a team rider, you feel like you're part of something and that you deserve to be there. Being a solo rider, you're not sure if this is the right thing you're doing.
The brotherhood in this sport, it's almost hard to even try to explain it for how much everybody sacrifices to be able to go to compete. Without each other, it wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be out there doing what I'm doing and putting out what we're putting if the riders weren't giving out as much as we give out.
Aaron has invited me to stay in his home a go out with his family, eat, drink, everything. It's really a good feeling.
We get together every weekend. Big family and friends, and consider family as well. Every weekend we get together at somebody's house. And for example, now Luke's here. I mean, he's part of the family. I mean, a lot of these riders bring friends, family. I mean, and we all help each other out to survive at all these events because it gets expensive for all of us. You mean, and there's not very much money being made in this sport. And by all of us sticking together, I mean, I think it makes it easier and it makes it so comfortable to be there. You mean, with nothing.
The sport's at this point is so underdeveloped that you don't know if you're doing the right thing or not. You don't know if this is where you should be putting in all your effort, or if maybe I should be hunting to get a real job and use my college diploma.
Can't believe she didn't. Aaron, what's your prediction? Oh man. You ready?
Top 5.
Top 5. I know who first is gonna be. I just gotta think about the second, third, and fourth, and fifth. The messenger will, don't shoot the messenger. I'm begging you, please obey. What is the key? What's it gonna take for you to beat Bill this time?
I'm not gonna put a clean, solid run together. It's gonna have to be faster and aggressive because I have to make up for what he makes up for in difficulty. I'm gonna have to do it with flow and execution.
Here's the deal. It feels like before when it was mine to take, it felt easier, you know. And now that all these guys are scratching at my back, I even get more nervous before the events. I'm stressed out more. It's definitely way more pressure.
Don't shoot the messenger, well, don't shoot the messenger. I'm begging you, please, no baby.
And you got the show with Big K and Nicole on the neck, and we have a guest in the studio. You know, I've been talking about it. It's the XDL Series Championship Freestyle. And Randy Groob is in here with us. What's up, Randy?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. This is really cool. This is all the stunt bikes going on, happening, and you're the one that brought it here.
That's right. I came here last year. We loved it so much, we decided we had to come back.
So how did y'all get together to start this series?
You know, it was actually an accident, like with so many things that end up working out. In 2004, we did a big event that was tied to drifting. Then we had another event that combined drifting with stunt bikes, and that was called the XDL show. And the drifting part of it never really worked out, but the stunt guys really liked it. And so the year after that, we started a series. And that's how the whole thing got off the ground.
You know, we always talk about winning at XDL and the winners, but if you really think about it, there are 30, 35 guys, depending on the event, that are trying to make it into just 15 qualifying slots. So just the mere act of qualifying for the main event is actually a huge accomplishment. And the guys that do make it, they are legitimately the best guys in the world.
Qualifying's 2 minutes. If you get into the finals, you get 3 2-minute runs. It's good for the people who make the finals because they can throw their first run, do a solid clean run, and then go hard. I don't know. I just bobbled out there. Once I bobble, once I do a trick and then yeah,
throws you off your run.
Yeah.
A lot of times I come into these competitions whenever I was first starting out and I was a little nervous, and my nerves get to me a little bit right before I go out and ride. Now I full-time ride, so I do shows every weekend, and I think that's helped me out a lot with my nerves. And I'm just pretty much ready to go out there and give the crowd a show and showcase the technical aspect of riding, and I think I will.
Luke Duke had traveled all the way from Connecticut, hung out in San Diego for a week with his sponsors, the guys at Racing 905. He was looking real good on that new bike, and he had got some practice time in, so he had high hopes. But tell you what, he didn't do it for me in qualifying.
So I had 2 bobbles, but I mean, it's qualifying day. All I got to do is be in here for tomorrow, and I can turn it up.
So one of my favorite riders, Teach, he qualified. He didn't do too good in qualifying. I think he's gonna do well in the finals. Teach kind of has a way about him. He just does whatever he can do to qualify and doesn't really push it too hard. He doesn't want to wreck, like we all know he's about to at any point in time. He's gonna come out in the finals, and we'll see what he's got.
It looks like old Teach, almost caking himself all the time. You know what I mean? Like
true.
That's what it looks like to me. Anyway, watching him ride it, like the way he rides, the way he looks on it, that whole deal. You know.
I said it to her. I was like, I got it. I got the seat a couple times. You got off the seat like by 1.5 feet, sideways, full lock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not kind of sorted.
It's not kind of. You're going. But no, that's. I don't know, man. It's good to see him on that thing. It's good to see him happy again.
Bill Dixon's a monster. He ran away with it at Daytona. If Nick and Luke don't do something, they're gonna have a hard time catching up to him in the championship.
I'd say my run was about 75%. Despite all the bike issues, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, everyone had said that I had a pretty decent run, so I'd be. If I didn't qualify and everyone's supporting my run and saying it's good, then that's gonna be a shame. Yeah.
No idea what happened, but I know I looked over and Shin was pushing his bike off the track.
Shin's riding the broken transmission bike. My teammate's bike was jumping out of gear, and I think he also had something with a wiring issue which blew a fuse. What can we do? Yeah, I ordered it up. You can probably go last. You want to change parts? And when a bike's going bad or there's a bike issue, it's really not your fault in the truest sense. You probably have 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Let me go look at the schedule. Hold on. Never mind. No 20 minutes. We got like 10 minutes. Okay. Hey, what do we need to do? Anything? Yeah, everything okay. Great execution on a lot of his tricks. Good stoppies, decent burnouts, and he had some really solid acrobatics, including a nailed switchback elevator that no one else was doing. So I really think he should qualify. Well, Shin, let's find you another bike then. That's the best option, is to find another bike.
Yeah, another bike.
We gotta find someone to loan us a bike, and we gotta say sorry a lot when we it up.
Yeah, if I pass the qualifying.
You qualified, I think. I'm pretty sure you did. I'd be really upset if you didn't.
You know, we're a young series, and we can't anticipate everything that's going to go wrong in competition in our rules package. So it seems like this year, every event, something was coming up that was unanticipated. Shin had an issue less than 20 seconds into his qualifying run where he had a mechanical problem.
He had 2 things go wrong. First of all, the transmission in the bike, which was failing, decided that it really wanted to give up the ghost, and the kill switch that he uses, since he hadn't had time to set it up properly, shorted out the main fuse. So the bike shut off and died. So literally it was a 20-cent fuse that happened to, kind of spoil the whole thing.
For us, we had to decide, does that mean he does not qualify, or does that mean he gets to fix his bike and go again? Thomas decided to let him ride again.
Something came up, never came up before, and I made kind of an on-the-spot decision to let him go again. And to me, it doesn't matter if Shin came all the way from Japan or he lived there local in Havasu. I think it's the right thing to do. You know, there's a big difference between somebody going out and completing 90% of their run and then they're bike breaking, or somebody coming out and only doing, you know, the first 10% of their run or whatever. So just try to be fair. Would have done it for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thomas was right, you know, but there was a lot of arguing because we just made up a rule, and so we needed to find a consensus with the athletes and define the rule, put it in place so that in the future everybody was clear about how these incidents would get handled.
The circle challenge is basically a race to 10. Two guys pop up at the same time and they're gonna do circles to 10 first. There is a judge for each one, and when the official says go, they clutch up into circle wheelies.
There's no margin for error. You know, you're setting with the bike, so your gas and brakes really the only control you have, and you have just a little bit of shoulder movement. When you're standing on the bike, you can move your whole body.
So it's basically how fast you can clutch up into a circle wheelie and how fast you can spin.
I think the audience love the circle challenge event because they get into it real well. I mean, they're right there, and it's two riders going at each other. You know, just the guy that's going fastest, so you know, they like it.
It's either a make or break situation. You're either going to have a good crash or you're going to succeed. So it's a lot of fun. It's fast paced.
Teach, are you ready? Bill, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
K&N Circle Challenge is always a lot of fun. The guys get a chance to talk trash to each other.
Who loves head-to-head battles? Put your hands together.
I said I'd battle him in the last round, sit down if we made it. That's what I said.
I kind of get them amped up on the mic a little bit, and somebody always chokes. And boy, Brian Boobass choked big this time.
I was going half gear.
With me on that? All right, Boobass, are you ready? Bill, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Boobass is in the lead.
Gotta taunt everybody. I mean, they're all gunning for me every weekend. I mean, you hear them all talking about, oh, Bill D this, Bill D that. I mean, they're gunning for me, you know, so it feels good to give them a little bit back every once in a while.
Uh-oh, there's a bunch of trash talk going on.
Talking Bill Dixon. No.
Nick, are you ready? Bill, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Bill Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Dixon.
Could you hear the audio on that? Man, I've been taking easy on everybody else. Woo, woo, woo.
After Dan Jackson got in those 2 wrecks at Daytona, you know, he came to Havasu. He's a man on a mission, but that mission got derailed just a little bit.
When I woke up today, there was 25 trash cans, a Red Bull tent, basically everything in this parking lot. I thought it'd be funny to put it over here and inside my little pit area.
So Dan got a little payback later on that night in Freestyle Burnout. He came out and just crushed everybody.
Nick had qualified first, Bill qualified third, so if it stayed that way, those two would draw pretty close together. Luke had qualified all the way down in fifth, but with Bill being in third, any little error there, and all those three guys would be really close together again. So it looked like it was going to be a pretty tight fought battle.
Bill beat me in Daytona he does a full minute of his run backwards. Some of his flow was lacking in Daytona, and maybe if that carries over here and I increase my flow and aggressiveness, then that's what I'm gonna have to do to take him out.
Oh, my biggest rival is myself. I mean, I've been saying that for years. I think I'm the best rider out here. As arrogant and cocky as that may sound, I'm 100% confident I'm the best rider out here. And if I can ride how I want to ride, then I think I have a great chance of winning. The question is putting what's in my head out onto the pavement. So we'll see.
Nick Apex came through, qualified first, brought some new tricks. I don't know if he went back home to Las Vegas and did a lot of practicing from Daytona to now, but he's looking real good.
All I ever wanted was to
I have to do good on this last run. I can't rely on the first two runs to do anything for me, because the first one was garbage and the second run was just keeping me afloat. Yeah, that's why I was nervous.
There's some people gunning for you this year, man. What are you going to do in your final round? Because you're in the lead right now, but I think somebody might be able to knock you off.
Well, my first run went well, and my second run went way better. And I think I'm going to use that energy and go into the third run with a lot of energy and put on a really good show for all you guys.
Bill is all over this track. Look at the speed and the stopping. How far can he go around? Oh, over 270.
Kickstands all the way
Been
out.
having kickstand problems all weekend. That thing's down now. You can see the spring on it.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll just pop back down.
No hands. You gotta show him some love.
Oh,
goes down.
So I'm very happy to be on the top of the podium again. Don't get me wrong, but who's to say I won? Bill Dixon's kickstand came down and he caked himself because he left titanium on his kickstand, which weighted it and brought it down. I mean, this is something where Bill had a really good idea, and because it could make extra sparks in his run, he's going to have a good time, and it bit him. But that's not a way to win. I mean, I feel like I won by default. So yeah, I mean, first place, but come on. Winning because the other guy crashes is not a win. That's just, I don't know. I can buy better Pampers and it was an easier paycheck today. I don't know. It sucks. I'm not happy about it.
Feel great. I'm a little sore. I had a crash in my last run, but other than that, I feel pretty good. Glad I got second place this weekend, especially after the crash.
Yeah, I mean, Havasu was good, especially if you compare it to Daytona. It was easy to manage. We brought a lot of kids in, which I liked. I like to see the kids interacting with the athletes. And it was great to teach McNeil at the event. Having him back on his BMW, 180 horsepower, he's so on edge, you never know if he's going to crash or not.
My goal this weekend was to qualify. I did. I had a blast, had a lot of fun. People are digging the style on the bike. It doesn't feel too crazy to me, but apparently it looks crazy, and so I'm couldn't be happier. And Teach is back. I didn't even think I was close to crashing once, and that's when I know I'm at my true best, when I don't feel like I'm about to crash and everybody else thinks I'm gonna crash. And that's what I want. The whole point of me riding a motorcycle is to make you think I'm gonna crash and not. And if you can do that, every time, then it's an entertaining run and you're gonna score well. So the speed, the danger, the smoke, that's me. I love it.
I had a good time in Havasu. I tried to stay away from the drama. I'm really looking forward to Nashville. We got a lot of great friends there. It's gonna be good for us, and I'm just looking to go in and having a good time and staying drama free.
Next time on Inside XDL. Previously on Inside XDL.
If you're competing in XDL and you're doing well, you're on top of your game.
It's qualifying day. All I got to do is be in here for tomorrow, and I can turn it up.
I want to repeat. That's what I want.
The whole point of me riding a motorcycle is to make you think I'm gonna crash. Very happy to be on the top of the podium again, don't get me wrong. But who's to say I won?
Track is hot, track is hot.
Nashville did not get off to a good start. We work with some motorcycle clubs in town, and they help us promote the event. So 2 weeks before, I get a text, this was on a Sunday, and he goes, hey, it's raining real bad, we need to put the promotions on hold. I had no idea how bad it was.
We knew we were going to have bad rain that weekend. They didn't know if it was going to hit Saturday or not. But May 1st, it started raining unbelievable, torrential. At first, it was kind of fun. I was with my kids, and we were joking. The power went out. You do the kind of stuff that you normally do when the power's out. And then it never stopped. We went out exploring, and then we started seeing the creeks come up to a point that we'd never seen before. And it come to a point where the freak out begins. The rain stopped Sunday, and then all the waters just kept rising and rising and rising. And all the rescue crews started coming out. That's when we jumped in and started doing what we can. I think my mindset has changed quite a bit as far as charity and helping people. People pull together, and I'm proud to say I'm from Nashville.
So now it's Tuesday before the event. I've been in constant contact with Eric Kyle in Nashville, and I've been getting updates, and the situation is really bad. We're basically going into a disaster area and can't really treat this like another XDL competition. So my mind switched. I went into sort of, give back mode. And one of the things we did was we got as engaged as we could in flood relief. We did a local TV show appearance just to get the word out. We were collecting relief supplies and doing whatever we could to help people in Nashville.
I should have learned. Shake me till my melody grows thin, just like the blood is dripping on dynamite.
Production here out of the studio door here. So if we could kind of get the bikes up here in like a semicircle.
Not, but these may be the last words you hear me say.
Sport bike riders are squaring off right here in Middle Tennessee. We're going to tell you where you can find them. This is XDL action happening over the weekend in Nashville. It's exciting to see you guys being here and also giving back to the community. I mean, we've been through this flood. I know you've heard some of that and seen the coverage of it. So the events that are happening here, part of the proceeds going to help out.
Yeah, we're giving half of all profits to the Community Foundation. We had an opportunity to do some shows. It just didn't materialize, and we're excited to be able to give back even just a little bit.
The difference in our sport is a lot of us guys have big hearts. We help each other out. It's not like if your bike breaks down in a competition, most other teams or riders would go amongst themselves and think of it as, okay, one guy down. With us, we're out there ready to put the guy's bike together, whether it means we need to take our parts off our bikes or not.
Well, pretty much came into the event successful around 2 at Havasu. Every event counts right now. It's all scoring events for me, no more buys.
McNeil, he's been a champion. He's rode great for 10 years. I think his dedication to sport is like me. I mean, his dedication to sport and his longevity, being in the sport and sticking to it is his success.
My current favorite rider is Craig Teach McNeil. I've been riding with him the past couple of days in Atlanta. Seeing him rip on that BMW is just it's absolutely inspiring.
He's definitely one to watch out for this weekend with all this room we got out here on this track, that big bike. So I'll be watching him. He feels confident, I bet, but I ain't worried about him really, to be honest with you, because I am coming with the fury.
Hold on. This is the 3 minutes. So we can go 3 people down, 1 person at a time, 3 minutes down there, 1 person down there, 3 minutes at a time. So we need 2 people on the clock. All right.
you're always in control until you're not in control, and it's always nice to be at that edge and thinking you're the man, and sometimes you just cross over that line, and usually when you do, there's no slow motion moments for me. It was just the bike came around, I high-sided drifting out of there, the thing's fast. I mean, it's 180 horses, it's powerful, and it just flicked me like a booger, landed back on it, and then it almost ran over me and dinged up my Scorpion helmet real good. That's wrapped in front to back. My shift jacket and my shift clothes luckily saved me, and it's really just internal knee stuff. You know, and it's one of those things where I could injure my knee honestly walking down the stairs. The ACL is torn already, it's been torn, and I was kind of just riding it out until the wintertime. Everything that happened it's to be expected, honestly. I mean, I'm disappointed that it happened right now because I've been feeling really good in the bike, and you know, the BMW 1000 is just running awesome. I have no complaints, and I finally feel back at home, and it just, you know, it happens. You try to ride aggressively, try to ride hard, go for the win, you know, you get bit.
Teach, it's high-sided to drift, kind of repeated what I did in Daytona. The surface out here is kind of sticky, but it's sticky, but it's not, it's real slick, so I think they drag race down here during the week, so it's got like different consistencies across the track. And Teach is riding this big 1000RR, basically just touch the throttle, easy to do a burnout, and basically just gave it too much gas. It looked like the ass end slid out too far, and then once it goes beyond that point of no return, just popped him.
Out for the weekend, and pretty much my championship hopes they're trash. That's over with now, so it's on to making money with the shows. You know, I gotta make a living, and hopefully we'll be here in Indy. You know.
Good, you need something?
There's a chair right here if you want to sit down.
You know, the riders meeting this morning, I feel like it was something that was going to happen eventually, and I'm surprised it took until this stop.
The idea here, Nick, do you not agree, is to show your bigger bag of tricks?
I don't agree, man, honestly.
Was that not what said the rules?
They do figure if he gets scored a 10, and then he comes out in his second run, does it again, he gets scored a 7. That's
Teach brought up a point that we have been discussing as riders.
So I'll tell you exactly. Here's
I like to use you too, boy.
No, here's exactly.
You stop moving.
Listen to me. I don't know. I can only speak for Bill and myself because I've talked to Bill about this. Bill, how many runs you got?
4.
You got 4 runs. When I read these rules, when I was riding, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go in and run 1. I'm gonna kill my sit-down circles, no handers, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do sit-down circles, and just use circles for example. I'm gonna do sit-down circles, I'm gonna do foot brake circles. In run 2, I'm not doing those same sit-down circles and foot brake circles. I'm doing my handbrake circles.
It's just Teach's way or no way. That's basically the Teach in a nutshell.
Guys who go out there do active. And you know what? You over there, dude, sitting like you friggin' you Mr. Know-It-all. You need to friggin' get up and get involved in this conversation. I've already said it. I've already said you have it because it's not working. It's not working.
Everyone can say that there's issues. Everyone can say that there's a problem with this, but no one can have a solution.
And is anybody here 100% happy with how things have been going? Anybody here 100% happy?
No. So we came to a bit of a powder keg.
You gotta love Nick. He's definitely he's a little bit of a drama queen. A little bit.
What is the definition of somebody just did the same exact run? What's the definition of that?
That's not the problem. The problem is everybody is doing 2 minutes of riding. That is the problem. We wanted to essentially make...
Nick is just a little bit of an arrogant a-hole, and he tends to think his way is the only way, and it's the right way and it's the only way. And if you don't agree with what he has to say, then you're wrong.
What do you mean no? Let me finish what I'm saying before you throw your head back and go to the skies.
The original problem with that was...
The original problem is we all want... Hey! You gotta learn how to all want... Finish what I'm saying, you
prick. And you obviously saw, you know, tempers flare a little between Nick and I. We are friends, and we've been friends before this, we've been friends after this, but you know, it comes down to certain things where I have very strong opinions about things, and he has very strong opinions about things.
Let him talk.
Go ahead, fine.
I read it. Speak.
We all want 4 minutes of riding time. We want to be judged on 4 minutes worth, right? Because everybody here is well-rounded. Everybody here wants to go. Like, if we go to the lot and we ride, there's that kid that can hit a freaking switchback wheelie, but he can't do all the stoppies we can. He can't do all the burnouts we can. He can't do all the acros he can. He can't combine it like we can. We're the best of the best in this freaking country and in the world. And we need more time to showcase that.
These idiots are arguing about something that we've all discussed and has been written down in a rule book. And I don't know, I guess half of them still just don't understand the way it works. And, you know, I was kind of mad at Teach the way he went about bringing it up, but I guess it was a good thing. And they say they all understand it now. We'll see if they do.
So, you know, I care about this. I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've invested my life into it. It's been 10 years for me, so I care about it and I'm passionate about it. And I want to see the intentions of the riders reflected with the organization of the sport.
Does everybody understand? Question? Anything? Does everybody understand the way the judging is and the way it's applied?
Well, actually, we did solve some things because a few people were really concerned or confused about the way the rule system worked. So hopefully now they have a better idea of what they can do to score better.
Eric, you got a problem?
Why don't you come over to us?
Everybody's gonna come to you?
You can't walk that far.
Why are you behind me, Dan Jackson? Put that little thing away. Screw Joe Brown on 3. 1, 2, 3. Screw Joe Brown.
Cats try to be signed and try to be mindless. I'm trying to be fine and trying to be timeless. The designers got the whole city behind us, and each of us think we the reason they signed us. The old timer is here to remind you, you can't speak without the beat to redefine you. Free speech stands down till you reach the primer, but hold your fire for the soul survivor.
So far, we have been blessed with good weather, but you know, gates open at noon, and sure enough, it starts raining, torrential downpour. I'm out there announcing, telling people to like run for shelter, basically, and I don't know. Between Daytona raining and then raining here, I'm just over it. So now that the rain had cleared up a little bit, we went ahead and started with the Aprilia All-Star Challenge. Now, after that drama in Daytona with Tony, a bunch of guys pretty much aren't riding these supermotos anymore, so it's kind of down to the best guys. Eric Pettit is known for doing very, very good on wet pavement, and it kind of gave him the advantage over Bill Dixon and Dan Jackson.
Nashville, I just kind of wanted to repeat from my Daytona round. I won in the first round, and then out in Havasu, I ended up getting fourth because I was trying to push too hard. And this time, I just want to calm down and get a good time, you know, because I already had one win under my belt, and I knew that, you know, the more I rack up, the better chance I got to get in the bike. So I just kind of wanted to stay solid but be fast at the same time. It rained, and I'm actually pretty good on them in the rain. Both times I've won this year has been in the rain, so yeah, that was my expectation, just be solid.
You all the way down here from Connecticut supporting. I like your style, riding real good. Kind of a new guy to the scene, trying to make your mark here at XDL. What do you got planned for us here in Sickest Trick?
Sickest Trick is one of my favorite formats. Sickest Trick is go for broke.
Each guy's gonna come out here and they're gonna get 2 tries to do their idea of their sickest trick, and basically whoever does the best one's gonna win.
If they pull it, they get scored by the judges. If not, they lose.
Hopefully you nail it, and hopefully you don't get hurt. That's the last year's sickest trick. I tucked my frame here in practice for it. It's one of those ones where if it goes wrong, usually it really goes wrong.
There's no limit, man. Sky's the limit, but you break through and hit outer space. There's no limit. Just keep going till you hit the ground.
I was going to do sickest trick until I found out Acro Pat's here.
Honestly, I think the rider to look out for this weekend for Sickest Trick is Acro Pat. If you can find him, track him down, and make sure you keep your lens on him, because big things always come from that fella.
Ladies and gentlemen, Acro Pat is in the house. And you don't earn a nickname like Acro Pat without being able to do something special. What do you got for us, man?
I'm going to try a switch back elevator, and then I'm going to try to turn in the air, kick the tank, and speed behind the bike.
All right, I'm going to be over here. That's some crazy stuff. Oh! Wow.
Roll a couple 100 feet and turn 270 degrees and put my rear wheel on the wall where there'll be a bottle.
Good job, Joe! How sick is that, guys?
sickest trick for the Nashville stop. It's a kangaroo stoppie, which is basically a stop 180 that jump the bike as high as possible, land backwards, and roll back to some speed.
You're gonna come through the Red Bull Arches, switch back in second gear, hopefully at least 70 miles an hour, and try to roll a couple 100-foot stoppie here. God willing, everything goes good.
Switchback stopping, second gear, ladies and gentlemen. It just got real serious.
I knew I had some new sick tricks, but I actually didn't even throw any of those. I just went for a big switchback wheelie, or a big switchback stoppie, and it went okay, but it was probably the scariest thing I've did in 2 or 3 months. You never know. Anything can happen when you're going that fast.
It's all a cover-up. It's all what I've been told. I've seen the video footage, but still I'm not sold. So many facts and figures.
Stoppie, where's he going with this? All the way around. Joe's doing a good job rolling back there without putting his feet on the ground.
Happy to be qualified. Happy to put the Aprilia in the finals. A little bit of vindication for some of my sponsors that have been so supportive. It's tough competition.
No hands with authority.
It's now mid-season, so it's make it or break it time in FMF Cup. We've still got 5 guys who could potentially win the championship. Bill Dixon, Luke Duke, Nick Apex, Brian Bubash, or Chris McNeil.
Brian Bubash goes down.
Bubash and Chris both had nasty wrecks, so that kind of might be taking them out for this event. So it's up to Luke and Nick to step their game up if they want to catch up to Bill.
I wrecked. I was going for it. Didn't quite make it.
Competition's so good, you have no choice but to just go full bore, you know what I mean? A little bit of this and just hope it all ends well.
Aaron Colton.
Oh, now no hands, just sit down wheelie. Cut the bike off and everything. I don't understand what you did though.
No hand coaster, shut the bike off, coasted.
Oh, you were coasting?
Turned it back on, coasting, clicked into gear, sit down circles. It's a beastie move.
I think Luke's gonna bring the fury.
Yeah, fury.
He's gonna have Aaron Colton out even just to watch.
He's gonna spell F-E-U-R-Y. Fury.
This run right here could make him or break him. Little death spin action. Nice, all the way from wall to wall. Nice, good execution right there. That's what the judges are looking for. Right now. He's a little bit angry with himself.
There's that gypsy anger. Gypsy gets mad.
This stoppie right there. Watch this transition now. Popping right up. Same position with the feet. Right into the wheelie. Jumping up into high chair. That is the ninja move that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to the right.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited for my buddy. He's been coming out here for 2 years from Japan, and now he finally gets a podium shot, dude. I'm proud of him.
Down high speed under the Red Bull Arch. Bill Dixon. That's about 60 miles an hour right there. About no hands. All right, checkered flag in
think I rode like I wanted to ride, but I don't know necessarily that I won. Shin, he was a savage out there for sure.
FMF Cup, I tell you what, Bill Dixon got first again. Shin finally got on a good bike, came in second place, but that does damage to Nick and Luke because that put them back in third and fourth. It's gonna take a miracle for Bill not to clinch the championship for the next event.
You know, after Havasu, I was kind of like getting my hopes up that we kind of were done with the rain. But you know, Nashville turned out to be another rain event. So from an event perspective, wasn't really that much there for me. It was just a drag. When that happens, I focus my attention on the track. It was pretty amazing, like to see how good they had gotten, how exciting things had gotten. You know, the battle between Shin and Bill was just incredible. I saw Shin's last run, you know, just blew me away. And then of course, Bill's sickest trick was just, I mean, it was completely sick.
Next time on Inside XDL.
We are in beautiful Southern California at Toyota Speedway in Irwindale.
Gonna be out here sweating, kind of putting the bikes to the grind, a little overheating. It's all in good fun.
This weekend I'm feeling pretty damn good. The last few times I've rode, I've felt really good as far as being aggressive.
I mean, everybody definitely wants to beat me. That's the way I feel. I don't know what these guys are thinking.
Previously on Inside XDL.
Man, I tell you, Daytona was a really, really tough way to start the season.
Oh, you'll never ride this way.
Why?
How about that?
Because I entered it.
You want to argue with me?
Oh, my biggest rival is myself.
Sure enough, gates open at noon, torrential downpour.
He's definitely one to watch out for this weekend with all this room we got out here on this track. I ain't worried about him really, because I am coming with the fury.
He texted me in the morning that he was on his way.
When?
Dude, I'll show you my text. Unless he texts me again.
He text you? He musta. You ain't talking.
Alex!
He musta.
My supposed teammates, they're about to get X'd, you know? They really flaked on me, so. Yeah, they were riding until 4 in the morning. And now he calls me and says, oh, I can't make it. The flakes flaked, but we gotta keep going. We're out of here. Sunol, California, little hole in the wall, to one of the biggest metropolises ever, Los Angeles. Here we go. Let's do this. This weekend I'm feeling pretty damn good. I don't know, but the last few times I rode, I've felt really good as far as being aggressive and pulling a lot of my tricks off and new ones. In my mind, you know, I'm having fun, and that's what life's about, is having fun, you know? Trying to do something different, something exciting in my life. So, you know, riding motorcycles, that's kind of like, you know, my lifeline right there. That's my stress reliever, and you know, as far as making it work, I think it's not even a question. It's what it is. I like to do it. Now I'm got my head on straight, riding a little more aggressive, and pulling stuff off that, you know, I normally didn't do. So you know, I don't know. I think skipping Nashville, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. LA's shine for me for sure.
I started seeing the same thing.
We are in beautiful Southern California at Toyota Speedway in Irwindale. We are here for round 4 of the XDL Championship, and really coming in, I actually feel pretty good. I feel pretty confident. I have a good sickest trick up my sleeve, something that nobody's ever seen before. It's probably has a 90% fail rate, and I haven't really tried it yet, but I'm just gonna go out there and go for it and really lay it all out on the table.
This is a track that we're all familiar with. I remember coming out here for a competition like, I think it was like 2002, 2003 when I was first getting started in all this. The competition was held here at Irwindale, so this track definitely has some history behind it.
So apparently, Alex and the rest of the Cali Alliance team were all mad at each other, and I guess J-Mo and Rick rode all night and didn't show up to ride down in the bus with Alex. But then they showed up like right before the riders meeting. So I don't know if they're gonna be fighting. I think they got some talking to do.
So, you know, we're setting up for the event, everything's going great. And then Lucky comes on the radio and he says, Thomas needs his porta potty. And I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. Princess needs the porta potty?
Project Porta Potty's in full effect. I don't have a porta potty in my general vicinity, and my judges need to go to the bathroom, and I need to use the bathroom while I'm announcing. So, according to my contract, I'm supposed to have one in my area, and I don't. So, we're gonna steal a porta potty. Now. What's going on over here? I don't have it. All right, hold on. I ain't gonna burn my clutch up. I gotta go. Go.
Yo, I respect many men, admire chosen few, pioneers, revolutionaries, and my crew. We're all thrown into this life, call it a struggle, it's a fight to the top to try to find
Good game. Project Porta Potty is complete. About to put it inside our DJ/judging area. Got DJ Record, XDL judges, my man Bill Dixon, burning out the clutch in the Yamaha. Practice session, man, the guys are going all out trying to get those extra points in the championship. Joe, man, I don't know what happened to him. He slipped and almost took out everybody.
Really, man, that little roll of burnout got away from me. I don't know if I hit something a little bit slick or what, but that's it's about as close as it gets right there. And you know, honestly, heading at the Red Bull Arch and heading at the hot pits, that probably wouldn't have ended all that well. But I pulled the rabbit out of my hat, was able to hang on to it.
So I'm hanging out, you know, watching qualifying, just trying to, you know, have some chill time or whatever, and it's getting towards the end. Alex Flores is up, you know, he goes at the end because he's always a competitive rider, and I'm watching him, he's switchback for the first half of his run, and he didn't do any tricks, and he like wasted like 40 seconds, and I don't know what he was thinking, but needless to say, he didn't make the finals.
I have a switch on on my throttle, and it was kind of giving me problems switching it. So after that, I hit my technical stuff, my circle wheelie stuff, and didn't drop my bike or anything like that. So it was that 20 seconds that really screwed me up. I didn't have the best run. I didn't plan one out. Things happen. I just got to go back and train harder, and make up for that one.
Yeah, it's a shocker that Alex didn't qualify, but I guess everybody has their given day where that's going to happen to him, you know? That's all I can say really about that. He's a great rider, and it'll happen to all of us.
Alex wasn't the only one that had problems in qualifying. Old Shin, man, he flies from Japan for every single event, and he kind of had almost a repeat of what happened to him in Havasu. His clutch messed up at the end of his qualifying run. He still qualified, but man, they had a whole bunch of work to do to that bike before he could make it to the final.
For a guy that barely had a transmission that functioned, he did really well.
Yeah, ended up qualifying 6th.
Just goes to show you how strong of a rider Shin is. Master Mechanic Randy and Shin here. We've discovered a new issue with, I guess if you kick a clutch cable hard enough, the throwout bearing decided it wanted to fall down and then jam itself, which wouldn't allow the clutch to disengage. So luckily we have another loaner bike for another tranny catastrophe.
Yeah, this is the second one. And it's not just like, hey, let me just throw a couple of levers on your bike and call it good. Like the forks are gonna come off that bike, the wheel, the whole front end, the radiator, the gearing, the tank, the tail, pretty much just using that frame and motor.
Yeah, full rebuilds.
Looks like we're starting team battle.
2.5 years ago, we put the team together, Death Squad. One of the top riders from Japan, Shin, he's our little Japanese ninja. And then we have Lynn from Phoenix, myself and Nick.
I'll tell you the truth, we really don't ride that much and choreograph a run, but we really wrote one down and actually walked it out before our team battle. So we did it a lot of times. We walked it out a lot of times.
We take a lot of pride in trying to sweep that event, just because for us that's when we have the most fun, because you know we try to put things together that no other riders are doing. So to go out there and push the envelope is always a plus.
When it comes to team battle, Cali Alliance and Death Squad have had some real sick battles over the last few years. And with the arguing between Alex and J-Mo and Rick, I didn't know if Cali Alliance was gonna ride. You know, Alex didn't qualify. I don't know how he's feeling, but sure enough, they came out and put on a killer run.
I mean, the people wanna go, wanna get up and go, wanna get up.
What's the name of this team right here?
Cali Alliance.
Cali Alliance. Guru says they're ready to ride. Are you guys ready for Cali Alliance? They were just playing with us. They know what's going on right now.
So ain't nothing changed. I'm still with the home team, still in the game. Tell your folk them hit me, I got the same number. You trying to find a greenhouse, follow that thunder. And I'm not talking cold, man, I'm close to it. Like I'm the commode, man, it's where I get my being said. I'm not bragging, but I'm bragging. And like a tongue starter, there's some
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cali Alliance. 8 and an 8. Put your hands together, Cali Alliance. I like that. Death Squad coming out, repping. Nice headstands and Christ. Since this is an on-spot judges event, I'm going to tell you guys who the winner of the team battle is. You guys ready to find out? By 1 point over the Death Squad, the Cali Alliance wins that one, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for them. Good job, Cali Alliance.
When we went out there, we pretty much nailed it. It was pretty cool. You know, we knocked off the Death Squad. They were always winning out there on the team battle. So, you know, that was a great defeat. And, you know, like I said, we planned it out. We nailed it. I mean, we nailed everything. We really didn't screw up on anything.
Going into the main event, Bill Dixon had done everything right. He qualified first, got that 1 extra point, and just opened the gap between himself and then Nick and Luke. The boys are gonna have a hard time trying to close in on him.
Yeah, I think right now as it goes, Bill D is running away with it. He continuously is coming out with new stuff. He's coming out with innovative stuff. He is at home and he is really putting in his time, and it shows, you know. And I think that the battle right now really is for 2nd through 5th. I mean, it's gonna take some really clever work by Nick Brochet in order to really make up some ground and take Bill out.
Right now, 2nd place is a lot more attainable than 1st. So I think if anyone's trying to jump up a rank, they're trying to jump into my spot. I just need to do well. I just need to do what if I can ride how I'm capable of riding, then I should be okay.
I mean, everybody definitely wants to beat me. That's the way I feel. I don't know what these guys are thinking. I'm sure they are. I'm sure everybody wants to win. I mean, if you ain't first, you're last. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to get beat second.
I feel okay. Was gonna skip today's round. Just still feeling the effects of the injury from Nashville. I got the bike back together. I'm back together. Not really in contention for the win. Not really in contention for a podium. I haven't been on the bike since I crashed at Nashville. Really just out here having a good time and enjoying my friends. You know, I'm only 5 hours from home, so it's nice to be back in my neck of the woods and, you know, out here ready to represent.
Had my first session and everything went good. The bike's running great and I'm feeling pretty good, so hopefully I'll have a good weekend.
Welcome to the beginning of the brand newest. Clap your hands.
Anybody know who this guy is?
Music, no need to act
The rookie, right? Randy Calico. No sponsors out here on his own dime.
XDL Rookie of the Year Randy Calico impressed the judges as well as his peers with a sick run that earned him a 9th place finish.
Crazy Kyle out here doing it big.
Kyle Report showed off in front of his hometown crowd, earning himself a 7th place finish.
So what I'm going to do here, I decided to change things up. I've usually been running this beast in rain mode. I'm switching it over to the 190 horsepower slick mode. And we're going to see what she's got for heat.
Go from Mexico to Killer Cali. At the border where they thought they had me. But I move like the water daddy. I can burn you, I can freeze you, but you never grab me. Fast black raspberry Maserati. Know what's cracking in the Kakalakis.
The always crowd-pleasing Chris McNeil laid down a super aggressive run to earn a 4th place finish. Luke Emmons added some new acrobatics in his run in an effort to topple Bill.
Oh, gorilla roll. He said it right there. I think that's what he was talking about.
Not to be outdone, Bill Dixon added his own new trick to his run, a bunny hop to stoppie.
Nice! Bunny hop stoppie. Did you guys see that bunny hop into the stoppie?
Nick rode hard and perfectly executed tricks we had only seen in practice.
Oh! Kangaroo right there! What is going on right now in this Apex? Switchback hop and a little churro mixed in there. Final trick right here. Full palm down on the ground, drifting. You heard him talking about that before his run started. That's it right there. Checkered flag is out.
Nick secured the win at Irwindale, but Bill Dixon, the man, came in 2nd place, so there wasn't enough gap there. Bill Dixon still ended up getting the championship 2010. Thought I was going to get out of this weekend easy, no drama or nothing. Then comes the speed and strength sickest trick. We let the riders judge this for a reason, because we've had some problems in the past. You know, some guys thought they did something that was super sick, and so we get riders to judge it. And sure enough, problem comes again.
This is 100% a Hail Mary. I've never tried this before, and I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like this probably has a 98% fail rate. So We'll see how it goes, but I'm only going to do a sit-down, no-handed club closer. So we'll call that.
This trick is really fairly technical. There's a lot more to it than really just going for it. There's the lead up to go for it. So it's a first gear shift into second gear, pulling the clutch. So now I'm coasting just straight on balance. I have to actually put the bike into neutral so that I'm able to take my hands off the handlebars, and then I have to hook my foot under the foot peg to make sure that I can hold on and then really go for it.
I'm gonna let the crowd make the call with the judges. If we give him one more and he hits it, does it count? All the judges say yes. Joe is our last rider. We're gonna get his score right now. Wow.
When I went out and actually went for it and did it, it was just kind of a sigh of relief. And you know, to be honest with you, I know that there's definitely some controversy. Some of the riders aren't that happy about it. The fact of the matter is that if every rider had 10 tries to do their trick, I'm still very confident that my trick was better.
Well, the rules are you get 2 tries. And not to be, I love Joe, but 4 tries and you win, that's not fair for everybody else.
Give me 4 shots of what I just did, bro, and I guarantee you I would do it.
That was way wrong.
You can never please a master.
No, I know. It's 2 tries, bro. You know that.
Dude, I was so scared for him.
That was the sickest shit I seen.
I thought his foot was going
That was
down.
the sickest I seen. But come on,
Dude, that's right.
Everybody else here could have had 5 tries, 4 tries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only fair.
But even if they would have pulled it, was it that sick?
No, his was the best.
Yeah.
Period.
Rules are the rules. The rules are you get 2 chances. However, like everything in life, in the heat of the moment, you got to make a command decision. The command decision between myself and the other judges was a discussion. It's 3 times, but it's so sick, does he get to do it again? We sort of passed the buck to Thomas. Thomas said, we're rolling with 3. Darius got the 3rd chance. His thing was sick. And Joe's was just so sick, we gave him the 3rd chance. And it was the sickest trick. I mean, honestly, I wasn't really impressed with anything out there except for Darius and Joe's run.
In 2009, I mean, the championship to me was just, I knew I was going to win it in 2009. I knew in my heart. This year, I knew it was going to be tougher, and indeed it was. You know what I mean, because of just timing and everybody's getting better. 2010 championship was more important to me because it's the 2nd time in a row. You know, it's like I just did it last year, and I just did it this year, and now what do you got?
These guys are definitely kind of like brothers to me. This is the mean one. This is the flaky one. This is the get real serious and get real stupid one.
I'm the dad, yeah, pretty much. Everybody's in?
Next time on Inside XDL.
X Games is a goal that I think we all collectively have.
It's definitely the first step, or maybe the 2nd step. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a good one. I think it's the best thing that's happened thus far in our sport.
Previously on Inside XDL.
We are in beautiful Southern California.
I don't have a porta potty in my general vicinity.
There are actually a lot of interesting parallels between XDL and skateboarding. When I first started XDL, I thought I was creating a sanctioning body, a racing series just like AMA Pro Racing. And about 3 years in, I realized, you know, maybe it's not that. Maybe we're more like an action sport. And specifically, I was looking at skateboarding because I saw so many things that we have in common with them. Skateboarding is about culture, it's about innovation, it's about tricks, and it's about personalities. And that's really us. On top of that, if you look at the culture behind skating and where skating came from, skating's a street sport, just like, you know, XDL started as a street sport. And somebody wised up and said, hey, we're gonna make a bunch of skate parks and turn this, you know, harness this street energy and turn it into a sort of safe and legal way to practice this sport. So they took skating off the street and made it a mainstay in the X Games. We're at a point now where we've lost that menace to society image, and now we need people to step up and start building stunt parks so people can ride in a safe environment in a stunt park off the streets. And what you'll end up seeing is the same type of exponential growth that skateboarding enjoyed when they first, you know, went through this development. So I see a lot of parallels between what we do and what skateboarding is all about.
You know, back in the 1990s, we started out as the black sheep of the motorcycle industry, and it took us a while to overcome that. And now we've got, you know, some mainstream acceptance.
The simplest way to show people that XDL is on its way to becoming an action sport is to put it in an environment that people easily understand, and that's the X Games.
You know, what we're trying to do right now is we're doing this demonstration to try and get ourselves in next year as an official sport, an X Games sport. So this is just a freestyle demonstration, an XDL demonstration for the powers that be here.
For me, the X Games has been, you know, something that I've always wanted to be at and be a part of, and as a group with all these other guys that come out here and, you know, they just shred it out here, man, tear it up.
To be here at the X Games is a huge accomplishment for myself and for every other rider in the industry, anybody that's trying to make something of the sport.
Never in my dreams would I think I'd be a part of the X Games, but to get out here and ride is just amazing. I mean, you know, just out here representing for the girls, and wow, I just got here yesterday, long drive, and hopefully everything goes well.
I definitely think that this is going to get the sport into the X Games next year. I mean, in the winter X Games, shovel racing is an actual sport. So I don't see how they're going to be able to keep freestyle street bike out and allow shovel racing to be an X Games sport.
Is this going to be enough to get us into X Games? If we had 500 feet by 100 feet, I think we'd have no problem, because we'd really be able to go out there and put on, you know, a hell of a demo. In 160 feet by 60 feet, it's hard, you know, it's a lot to ask. All these bikes, you know, have over 125 horsepower. They're all, you know, geared to be big, fast, impressive machines, and we're a little limited here. So hopefully what they do is they see us and they know that it only gets better with size.
It could be a make or break day. I mean, we could come out here and give it all we have, and it might not get the attention that we want, but you know, we're gonna do our best and we're gonna try to push to get the attention that it deserves.
Hopefully the crowd likes us, we don't make fools of ourselves, crack up, smash the bikes, hurt anyone.
Just came out here to show my support and ride and have fun with all these guys. I'm hoping to have a fun event, you know, and do that right there all day.
I'm just thinking about having a good time. You know, out here it's kind of a really relaxed event, no stress. I think we're here just to accomplish one thing, and that's to win over the industry. And let me help you out real quick. Have Kyle hold my umbrella.
You guys ready to see a competition? Ready to get real?
Back in the A, yeah, back from the woods. Zone 6 to Zone 3, cause Glenwood connects them. Zone 3 to 4, Walker's Boulevard. Lord connects them. Fourth ward to the blankets.
All right, what are you gonna do for your second trick?
I'm gonna just go on the side of the bike, lean all the way down if I'm falling, grab the bottom, pick it up.
Boards, I don't need no heroin. Yes, sir, let's do it like we do it, dog. Hands up, side to side, get into it, y'all. Drinks up, get stupid.
Now, I've seen you do some sick stuff. What do you have planned for today for second trick?
Well, kind of like what you just seen me warming up right there. I'm gonna drag the back end, kind of like you see when racing and supermoto, and I'm gonna try to do it with no hands.
Yeah, when I see you like.
Well, my good friend Randy Callagher, who just blew my mind with his no-handed backing it in. He invented some trick. He didn't really have a name for it. I call it the cow coach shuffle. I'm just gonna try to put a little extra speed on it and see what happens.
Back in the age, yeah, back from the woods, back to them ghetto abs, far away from the rebel flags, cause I don't know where their head is at. Where my head is at, always on the run, on the move like a pedal crack, but I don't mess with that. Promoters invest some cash, so pockets are extra fat like Alexis's Texas ads. And it sounds so wicked, made me wanna wake up my lady.
I attempted a switchback 180 elevator. It's a new trick I've been trying for a couple weeks. I've landed it once at home and I decided to bring it out here and show the fans. Standing on the bike backwards, basically going forwards and doing a 180 jump, landing on the tank going forwards, all without touching the handlebars. Yeah, there's a pretty big fail factor on that trick, so I had a couple people out there catching it and it went, I just about pulled it off, but next time I'll have it for sure, next XDL.
Sickest trick here at X Games was pretty tricky for me because I had no idea what I was going to do coming into it. And, you know, I got here, checked the surface out this morning, and my ultimate goal was to do a switchback scrape. And that's what I planned to do, but I knew this area was going to be, you know, pretty small. And but I went out there and practiced. I felt pretty good. I didn't feel like I had it, and I got a last little bit of confidence out of some of my friends at Yamaha that came to watch me ride. They said, "You can do it." I went out there and that's what I did. I got it done.
Always do my best to get along. But
who wants to see some ladies ride wheelies? Yeah, put your hands together. Real beautiful ladies together.
Step two, check one, check two.
I enjoyed myself. It's been an honor to be able to ride among the other X Games fellas, but it's our time. We need to be here. We're gonna show them.
Where's all my Tony Carbajal fans back here? Let's go. Check out
I just went out there and had fun. Just went and had fun and just rode the ride, man. It was like another session with the boys is all it really was.
went out, went for my run, told them I was going buck wild. I rode to my potential, so I'm happy.
The spot we had at X Games, it was super small. I mean, you know, the guys at X Games were nice and, you know, helped us out, made it as big as possible, but it was still way smaller than any other place we'd ridden yet. But I tell you what, all the guys really stepped it up. I mean, Bill pulled off the switchback wheelie in like 60 feet, just popped it right up. J-Mo, crazy acrobatics, you know, jumping up to the bike. Like, he wrecked into the wall, but I mean, still to even try that in that distance was amazing. And then like Randy Calico just whipping the bike around, drifting everywhere, and I can't believe some of the things he was doing in that spot. So it turned out good. I was really proud of the way everybody rode out there.
XDL is fantastic for this genre, for street freestyle. I mean, it's very organized, it's very well run. It's about bringing the athletes and sport to the fans, which is what we're about. It's done in a very professional way. It's very organized. So again, it was a good time and fit for us to be involved. And if it wasn't for XDL, there's a good chance we may not have been.
At first, it was a little foggy back like in '99, 2000, but I honestly thought in my heart, you know, and prayed since about 2003 that we would be in the X Games. It's definitely the first step, or maybe the second step. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a good one. And I think it's the best thing that's happened thus far in our sport.
But as far as XDL and what we've done, we've basically taken a sport that started in the streets, just like skateboarding. We've made a legitimate sport out of it, a contest out of it. I mean, there's a national championship series. I can remember, you know, 6, 7, 8 years ago saying, you know, all I want to do is go to a series. Any series that is a championship, that is what I will go to. And I've been doing that and saying that for God knows how many years. And so the fact that XDL is a legitimate series and it is a national championship, we've attracted large corporate sponsors. The motorcycling industry knows about us. They recognize our value and our sort of power within the industry to sell product. And that's a far cry from even 5 years ago, never mind 10 years ago, where we were outlaws and hooligans and there wasn't a cool motorcycle jacket on the planet that you'd wear. You know, you wouldn't be caught dead in any gear because it was just all old man Harley stuff. And now you have companies, you know, dedicated specifically to what we're doing and how we're riding motorcycles. So in that sense of the word, I don't think a demo at X Games can even holds a candle really to where I think we've come, you know, from 10, 12 years ago to where we are right now. You know, I was a teacher before this and I'll be a teacher after this. And so I always have that in my mind, you know, with my behavior and with what I'm presenting. Is this something that I'd want to present to my colleagues at my school? And 10 years ago it wasn't, and I had to hide it, and I just didn't partake in some of the activities. And XDL was exactly what I was looking for, and exactly what I was trying to do.
When you had asked everybody what their dream was, and a lot of people said the X Games, I don't think I said that. I'm probably one of the few guys that said, I just want to see the sport get bigger through the current venues that we're running. Yeah, it is somewhat realizing a dream that I didn't have. It's kind of like one of those things to where, I don't know, a friend gives you a gift and you never even thought you wanted it, but then you get it and it's really great. But at the same time, we're really not there yet. This is just a taste, if you will. I want to push forward and use that momentum to carry us into next year, absolutely. And I hope that bigger and better things happen from this, but I'm not able to celebrate yet. So as soon as the next big step happens for our sport, I want what's after that, because that drives me, that keeps me going, and I don't like to ever feel complacent. I want the XDL Finals to be the event of the year, and then once the XDL Finals is the event of the year, well, hopefully I'll be too old to want more. I don't know.
XDL has helped riders tremendously. You know, it's just, you know, I think that I heard Teach say it a little bit earlier, is that, you know, competition drives a sport. You know, without competition, who cares? You know, what is all this for? It's not a sport. It's you know, it's a demonstration of your motorcycle skills. But you know, competition drives the sport. It drives the whole industry, and you know, the industry itself really has come leaps and bounds. It's been amazing, and I think that without XDL, none of this would have happened. I can guarantee it. You know, there's just no way. I mean, if you look around at, you know, all the other competitions and all the other series and all the other guys that tried to pop up and try to do the same thing had one thing in mind, and it was to try to fatten their pockets a little bit. And you know, the XDL series right from the beginning wasn't about that. It really was about growing the industry as a whole. And there is, you know, there's a few select riders that feel the same about it, you know, and then there's a few riders that don't feel that way. And it's just, you know, it's how it is, you know, just. Another, I hate to use a Teach quote, but that, you know, there's guys who want to make their piece of the pie bigger, and then there's guys who want to make the pie bigger. That's a really good quote, and that's a really good way to say it, because it's very true. I don't feel any different as an athlete. I think that, you know, regardless of the outcome of this demo and whether or not X Games wants this to be an actual sport that they hold every year and we're going for the gold, you know, I think that no matter what, we're still going to be here. At the end of the day, you know, if X Games happens or doesn't happen, I don't think it's going to affect us at all. I think that XDL has really lined itself up to be self-sufficient at this point. You know, I think that it stands on its own, and it really is it's a big platform for us as riders, and it's a great thing to have, and I don't think that X Games is going to make or break us. I think that the determination that the riders and the staff that's behind all of this has shown in the last few years, you know, really is a testament to the character of people that are involved. I think that no matter what, we're going to be here.
And we haven't even begun to plateau. We're still rising to the top, I think.
You know, whether the X Games demo is going to lead to bigger and better things, I really don't know. It's too early to say, and it's a complex reality out there. But it certainly marked a milestone, especially for me personally, because it showed that we're able to take a sport off the street, you know, turn it into something professional, and take it all the way to the top. You know, the X Games demo wasn't the only thing that we did to move us closer to action sports. We started working with a company called Famous Stars and Straps. They're a clothing company with deep, deep ties in, you know, skating, BMX, the street culture, and they'd been supporting XDL athletes for several years. One of those athletes is a guy called Kyle Rapport, also known as Crazy Kyle. He's the guy with the long hair. He stuck out in my mind as sort of the skater kid, even though he doesn't skate. He grew up in SoCal, in that whole culture, and he lives in a ranch up in the hills somewhere, and he's got a very, very specific plan of building a stunt park at his ranch. So, you know, he knows exactly what needs to be done to drive the sport forward.
I order the sun to shine on everyone.
I got the nickname Crazy Kyle just by being ridiculous, doing crazy things. It started back in high school off-roading and dirt bikes, and then it's just carried with me just with everything I do. I definitely think of riding as a form of art. Every time I get on the bike, if I'm tired, it doesn't matter. I'm wide awake when I'm on the bike. I'm ready to go, and I definitely feel it's a very creative way to express myself. Basically, I was living in southern LA, and when I got back from France, I needed to move. It was either Anaheim or out here in the middle of nowhere. I chose out here because I can have my space to do what I need to do, train, and hopefully build the first stunt facility. And this would be the future stunt park. Right here.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. Pave about a 1 acre spot with a stoppie run up and start training. Welcome to the KKS Ranch.
I order the sun to shine on everyone. I ask for its warmth.
My vision for this stunt facility is obviously start with just flat pavement, but at some point start building some ramps, some rails, some jumps, berms, anything I can think of to progress the sport. In 3 to 5 years, I definitely hope we're on specific bikes meant for just what we do. I'm also hoping we have stunt parks everywhere, or at least a few in the nation. The KKS Ranch, actually, this is one property line, and it cuts across on that graded area up there and back into that valley. It's about 6.3 acres total. It's enough to keep me occupied for a while.
There's another athlete that shares this vision of building a stunt park at his house. His name is Jamal Kindred, also known as Jay Beats.
Jay's a good friend. We've been riding together since I've been riding, basically. Since I got a street bike, I was doing stoppies with him on some streets in Moreno Valley. I mean,
he's one of those guys that's sort of the embodiment of street culture meets, you know, street freestyle. He's got a very specific plan of putting this park in the backyard of his house. He's got a big backyard.
I got the idea a few years ago. A lot of the places where we were always having the problems was just a place to ride. That was one of the biggest things, and always trying to impress or get someone else, like a possible investor, interested in it to do it. A lot of people were just scared just because the sound of street bikes and that whole feeling, it frightened people. I knew that it was a sport that was here to stay, and I knew that it can be safe. You just had to just take the proper requirements to do it. We're in the backyard now. Now my grand scheme of things, what I was thinking about, I wanted to pretty much just utilize the areas. The riding area is going to be like, I don't know, 120, 130 by like 66. So it's not going to be obviously the biggest, but it's going to be enough room to be able to, you know, have some fun, practice some technical stuff, really just have some barbecues and really just have somewhere to ride where I don't get sweaty. I think that skating is no different from riding. I mean, you have to put everything into it to be able to get something out of it, but also too, you have to be able to have somewhere to be able to obviously hone your skills in and practice and be able to come up with different tricks, be able to add obstacles and different things of that nature, but we can't necessarily do that if it's somewhere that we don't own.
You start looking at these things and it's just a matter of time before these parks get built and the sport starts growing and growing, and you'll see sort of the second coming of skateboarding, if you will. I mean, it's just a matter of time before it's going to explode.
We're sizzling right now. We're almost done. We're getting ready to get pulled out the oven.
Next time on Inside XDL.
Indy is without question our biggest and best event of the year.
It looks like I'm at the top of my game, cocking the blade. No way, that's not gonna change. I got all these young bucks always dropping my name.
But it is the finals. The points are pretty much set. So if I'm going to crash out of any event, this is a good one to do it. So I might as well try some of these few Hail Mary tricks.
Previously on Inside XDL.
To be here at the X Games is a huge accomplishment for myself and for every other rider in the industry, anybody that's trying to make something of the sport.
I mean, it's definitely the first step, or maybe the second step, I'm not sure, but it's definitely a good one. I think it's the best thing that's happened thus far in our sport.
We're sizzling right now. We're almost done. We're getting ready to get pulled out the oven.
Track is hot, track is hot.
Our first event at Indy was 2008. We chose that year because it was the first year of MotoGP there. That was, in 2008, that was the weekend of the year. You know, MotoGP was coming, there was going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. Everybody in the industry was going to be there. So for us to position XDL in front of the motorcycle industry as something that needs to be taken seriously, we had to be part of that weekend. It's always been the perfect event for us. But 2008, 2009, it rained like you wouldn't believe. Now, I'm not talking like drizzle or rain. I'm talking 2008, we had, I think it was Hurricane Ivan. The remains of Hurricane Ivan came through Indy and just completely soaked it to the point where we had something like 6 or 8 inches of water in the competition area. Same thing in 2009. We had, it wasn't a hurricane, but we had these massive rainstorms that came in, and the whole area was flooded. I'm just hoping that we get spared this year.
Being at Indy is really fun. Not only is it one of the sickest setups ever in terms of stunt competitions, because it's right downtown, Indianapolis is also pretty much one of my favorite cities. They host events like no other city in the world. It's designed for hosting events, and we have a lot of fun when we go there. The people are super nice, and all the restaurants and everybody we go visit are always cool.
Indy involves a whole lot of planning for us. We're basically building a racetrack from scratch in the middle of a park. Everything that we need to pull off an XDL, we have to bring in, whether it's barriers, it's stage, it's lighting, it's building our own grandstands, it's the fencing, it's toilets, it's water, it's food. I mean, you name it, we have to bring it in. On top of all that, it's a pretty small place, so most of the guys actually have to park on the street all they can do is set up a tent, and we only have room for a few of the big rigs to go in the rider pit area. So it's a pretty small space.
So the first day at Indy's set up, it's not too stressful for me and the riders. We have a little riders meeting, get some practice time in. Speaking of riders meetings, in Nashville, I called the guys idiots for arguing about the rules, and kind of need to make up for that. So I called up my buddies over at Buzz Time. Tonight we're gonna have a trivia night and hopefully release some of the steam that's been built up all season.
Doing the Buzz Time trivia was fun. It's nice to kind of have a break in the day, but those of us that do work, we had to go back to the venue. The big thing that was left first night was all the lighting hadn't been set up, it hadn't been tested, so we had to go back and do that. By now, it's, I think it was 1 in the morning, maybe 1:30, and I had promised everybody we'd get done early. We still had to have a staff meeting, and the reason we have to have these late night staff meetings is because once the day starts in the morning, things get so rushed, stuff starts happening, that if you don't plan out your whole day the night before, it just, you fall behind and you never catch up. So really, as much as it is a drag to do that staff meeting at night, it's just absolutely necessary.
So the weekend's off to a great start. The venue set up, looking good. And I'll tell you what, at this point, if it rains, I quit.
Over the years, XDL has turned into a movement. We've managed to attract people from all walks of life, and it's gotten to the point where we now have a core group of volunteers that come to every single event and help us out. And to be quite honest, without these guys, we couldn't pull it off anymore. That's how much we depend on our fans for support now. They work 16, 20 hours, and I'm not kidding, 20 hours a day. All they get in exchange is, coffee and oatmeal from Starbucks.
Breakfast, Starbucks oatmeal every morning. Breakfast of Champions, makes it for like those 18-hour days. Snap.
But I think that's what they like. They like being part of something that's growing. They like having that purpose, and it gives them satisfaction to help us, and we couldn't do it without them. I remember there was a volunteer that came up to me after Nashville in '09. He said it's the hardest he's worked in 10 years, but it's the most fun he's had at the same time. So that kind of sums it up, I think.
Yo. 3-minute qualifier, 3-minute final. So down and back, come back to me and I'll start you from this side.
Who's ready to see some ladies? All right, well, let's bring one out here and let's meet her. This is the Sarso Jeans Women Cup right here.
One of the new competitions we introduced for 2010 was the Sarso Women's Cup.
I think the other female riders are amazing. I am so proud, when I think about where we were in the springtime, sort of nobody knowing who we were, how much work we're putting into the sport, and now I think we've come a long way. They've grown in leaps and bounds in their skills as well, and it's just really exciting to see.
It's really awesome to see everybody out here. Finally, it's like I'm not in a little clique, so, I'm not all lonely. It's like we all got a female clique now. It's kind of cool.
It's neat to see the progression, because I know everybody's working hard at it, and I guess some people don't expect us to do it, but just keep practicing and everybody's getting better, slowly but surely.
What it do, what it look like. We get it in, put it down when it look right. Yeah, we can take a stand in the good fight. What it is, what it do, what it look like. What's really good, man? I can't even call it. Smoke the best of the best. Now light it up and get it started. Don't you feel taller when it's something in your wallet? Go ahead and do your dance. That is any way you want it. You looking at the next generation of execs. Young and up and comers, we was really on deck. So I don't even dripping sweat. I expect to see them.
The big picture here wasn't so much that, there's a ton of girls that want to become stunt riders. It was more about us being more like an action sport and looking at what these other action sports had done in the past. If you look at snowboarding, if you look at surfing, there's a huge girl power movement. And I just felt, and I think Thomas and also, our sponsor, Sartso, they felt like there was this opportunity here to create this girl power movement within our sport as well. Aside from the FMF Cup, the other national points championship that we run for the guys is the Aprilia All-Star Challenge. We've been doing it for 3 years, and in 08 and 09, it was really sort of the Dan Jackson versus Bill Dixon battle.
3, 2, 1, go!
2010, a new face emerged, Eric Pettit. He put together a really solid season. He took the fight to both Bill and Dan, and he earned himself an Aprilia.
Those guys are next to impossible to beat. We're always a couple hundredths of a second apart, so it's intense every time we do it. This is, right near my hometown in Indiana. Almost all my friends and family that are into my riding was all here to watch it. Everything put together, this whole thing just capped it off, and it's absolutely as sweet as it can be.
I wanna taste today. I wanna take you.
The speed and strength sick strict competition at Indy is always one of our best ones. There's a big crowd, a lot of industries there. It's the last event of the season, so everybody wants to go big.
Switch back on the tank right now, guys. Who can do this? All right, you guys ready? Josh Morning, headstand dismount.
Hope that you give in.
Josh, kickstand down.
Hope that you buckle. You know that you will win.
Headstand,
Still I see you
dismount.
struggle. Fight until
Crumple,
the
shuffle all the way out, but he
Find
made
a
it.
place to rubble. Take it in, take it in, take it all away.
Get that tire warmed up. Oh, and goes down. Bunny hop stop.
Paralyzing eyes make the job so simple. Corrugated smiles for business-minded people. I see you folded arms, so jackets all unbuttoned. Highly
This year was no different. Luke Emmons took the win with a 50-50 wall park, but the whole thing didn't go off without controversy.
I heard the crowd when he went. I mean, they were loud, so I was obviously sick.
That trick could go really bad. Your back tire is on a wall. You can't put your feet down because you're sitting on the gas tank. So if you fall, the bike is gonna roll on the barrier underneath and mess up all your controls.
Dan Jackson was standing behind, and supposedly 905 Aaron and his brother, Luke's brother, were talking about, like in between all three of them, about, okay, I got the left side, you got the right side, when he comes in for this high chair 180 wall park.
So I actually had a spotter ready in that event.
And I mean, a high chair 180 wall park is pretty sick, but I mean, if you got people waiting there to catch you, I mean, that's not pretty sick.
I guess if someone really wanted to pick it, no one touched my bike. But if someone was just maybe looking or whatever, they might have got confused. But no, no one touched it.
The main event to me is always it's always the pressure. It puts the pressure on. It doesn't matter if I've won the championship or not. I always want to win. I'm competitive at heart, and I'm going to come out here and try to beat all my friends again today, and that's what I'm here to do.
I'm here, going to have fun. Got 3 chances to go at it today, so I'm not so worried about doing everything I got to do to sort of make it to qualifying. I'm going to go out and have fun, and if I forget to do a few things that are required to score points, then I forget to do them. But I'm definitely, I know I'm not in contention to win. I'm really not even in contention for a top 5 if you ask me. but I'm gonna go out there and just have fun and wild out, and I guarantee people will remember who I am.
I got a lot of stuff I want to unveil here, and a lot of it's kind of hit or miss. But it is the finals, the points are pretty much set. So if I'm gonna crash out of any event, this is a good one to do it, so I might as well try some of these few Hail Mary tricks, and if it goes good, great. If not, it was fun.
No, actually everybody's riding lower than I expected. I had in my mind when I came here that everybody was just gonna be murdering everything new, all this new stuff, and really haven't seen nothing too spectacular as of yet.
I just haven't done a run that I know I'm capable of, and I really want to get one out this year. So I hope in these next 3 that everything works right. It would be it'd be a really nice way for me to end the season.
You know, I think the top 3 guys have been Bill, Nick, and Luke. No doubt. But Bill and Nick were sort of they both won the championship. Luke Duke's been, he's been right there knocking at the door.
Going into the event today, I qualified second. I'm pretty happy with that. I predicted a top 5. I was a half a point behind Nick. And I'm pretty confident. I had a lot of momentum going into the event. And like I said, I want to come out with a #1 spot today. I feel great.
The pressure's right back on because I want to win. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's still a competition out here this weekend. You know, I'm here to win the contest, and that's what I'm here to do. So the pressure's on right now. I can feel it.
You guys ready? Guys ready? Let's do this.
I feel this is kind of my hometown event because, for one, I spent a good amount of time in Indianapolis. It's the closest freestyle event, competition to me. It's a Red Bull event. I do a lot here for Red Bull, and I kind of have a lot of incorporation with the city when I'm here. Kind of went out there with the mentality to put on a good show. Have a good time, put on a good show, and nail a few things, and just really give the crowd some love. And tried to put down some big noise, some big smoke, and some speed, and see what everyone thought, and everyone seemed to like it, so I was pretty stoked with that.
Indy's the ultimate round. It's the finale of the year, and it's one of our biggest events, and it's as a freestyle rider, you're a show off anyways. Entertainers at heart, and if you're not entertaining the crowd and having a good time, then you're not really going to build a fan base or be successful in what you're doing.
Nice burnout set right there. What do you guys think about Chin? Chin in 6th place right now. Oh, Chin goes down.
So I went out there and I was just struggling. I was struggling from the get-go, really, is what it was. And so much so that I just stopped mid-run to a dead stop, and that I was gonna end the run and just burn out and just beat the snot out of it one time down and be done. And that was it. And I just, it's just. I just gave it too much gas. It didn't hit anything, no potholes, nothing. I just gave it too much gas and I lost it.
You all right? Well. My head hurts. Last round I almost crashed 4 times. I beat that this time.
I'm all right. I'll live to see another day, and I'll hopefully get patched up and get ready for next year.
What's going on
When I went into my 3rd run, I was like, I'm just gonna go out there and have a blast. I'm gonna start out switchback and I'm gonna scrape forever. And I mean, it wasn't me out there. I didn't feel like myself even. And when I went for that switchback wheelie, the first one, my feet were in the wrong position. Everything felt normal to me. Like it was like I could see a tunnel, And I was
pissed off. I clutched it up again, and I said, I'm scraping this forever. And when it hit the bar, I let off the handbrake, and it just went for a looped out on me, and I slammed the handbrake, and it slammed me down. And
that's the way it works out. Sometimes at the end of the day, if you push it too hard, you end up on the ground.
Overall, my third run felt really good. The flow might have been a little lower than my first run, but it's tough to say. Sometimes you don't know how the judges are going to think of your run. It looks a lot different in your head.
Nick Apex out here representing.
In my third and final run, I had a lot of traction issues. That back part of the course just got slick. I don't know if it's a mixture of the humidity settling, my front tire. I came into this event knowing by the end of the event it was going to be hurting, and it sure was. So thank God, you know, the Avon hooked up enough down in the slick area, but didn't hook up enough to where I expected. Anyway, whatever. I had a good time and I won. Yeah!
It's been a great weekend here. Indianapolis, MotoGP, bikes everywhere still. Race days tomorrow. Finally capped off the 2010 season. It's been a long one, it's been hard, but this weekend right here has topped it all off. It's like with a cherry on top. I'm beat up, worn out, been talking for 3 days straight, but we having fun. Everybody's got good spirits, man. Can't wait till next year.
How I feel about competing, how I feel about shows, how I feel about the sport is one thing, but when I kind of feel that the understanding of everyone is in the same place, it makes me feel proud to be in my sport right now.
XDL is my life, and anybody that knows me will tell you the same thing. All I do is ride. My wife knows that. All I do is ride, you know, and this is what I ride for. I'm not riding to get better at shows. I'm riding to come out here and kick some ass and prove that I'm one of the top riders in the country. So, I mean, I just got to go home and get on it and just come back strong next year.
I really am looking forward to bringing out a whole new rider next year, and there's a lot of great influences that were out here today. Randy Calico, God, that guy can ride a bike. I mean, he can really ride a bike how I want to ride. Chris McNeil, I like to talk like I don't like him and, you know, it's all joking around. I love the guy, and that guy can really ride a bike.
Some things need to be reworked for next year. I think that's normal with any growing thing. It's cool to win it twice, but I want to be the first guy to go 3 times. I want to three-peat. That's me. And after that, I think I'm going to relax a little bit.
What we do is hard. You know, we're building a sport from the ground up, and there's really no corporate backing. There's no deep pockets. There's no hedge fund. It's just a bunch of guys that are too stupid to get a real job. And, you know, I'll be quite honest, the last 5 years have been this huge struggle. But in my heart, I know that we finally reached the tipping point.
That's something good. That's something good. That's something good. That's something good.
That's a wrap.
Hey, my name is Randy Grube. I wanted to thank you guys for following us all season. If you want to see more, check us out on xdlshow.com, and don't forget we have a DVD coming out anytime now, so check it out, xdlshow.com.
And don't forget, you can check in with us on Twitter. It's @XDLShow. I'm going to be giving away free stuff the whole winter long, and right now I'm going to run out. Got to go wheelie this bike.
Yeah, I think there's 8 of us that can win at any one time, so you never know. I don't know what I said last time. What did I say?
Try to take my money, try to lock me up in that clink. You know what I say? I'm gonna take this shit off the streets, man. One of these days, I'll be like the little kid. I can ride a dirt bike into the water and not get in trouble, man. Be like Travis Pastrana. Take this shit to the X Games. No, I didn't say Eric Estrada. I said Travis Pastrana. Take this shit to the X Games, man. You know what? Get that shit, man. 10 years later, we don't do window and fall over no more. There's a fucking piece of tinfoil flying around, creeping at me like it's a ground squirrel right now. No volunteers here.
But as far as podiuming, is that the right word?
Yeah, that's not good. Whatever that is.
Generally, when people meet him, they hate him. They think he's a dick. Can I say dick? Is that okay?
I think we're ready to go big.
Dude, instead of Lucky, they should name him Lazy. We wish.
First XDL show.
December 5th, 2005.
So the idea was a scripted show, drift cars doing their thing, stunners doing their thing. At the very end, we had a finale where the drift cars and the stunners came together and we did some choreographed stuff.
Like I pulled up, I don't know what to expect, and there's like Falcon truck is there, like, and I look over and see a huge TV and just like nice stages set up with trusses. I felt like I was a superstar. I didn't even know why I was there. And at one point in the middle of the show, they stopped the show. Irwindale stopped the show, right? They call down from the tower and they're like, yo, stop the show right now. Basically, they didn't know that the cars and the bikes, this is right before the finale, and the cars and the bikes get out together and the track freaks out.
No, what it was we weren't allowed. They said we could do whatever we wanted to do, but no standing burnouts. And the fuel guy.
Oh yeah. All right. That's what it is.
I'm like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, cool. 10 seconds. I'm like, dude, stop. And like, he went on for like 45 seconds, and all of a sudden, all like,
Griff walks up to me, and that's right, because the Buell kid was announcing at that moment for like the Buell guys or whatever, and Griff walks up to me and hands me the mic, and he's like, keep him happy. And he runs off, and I'm like, now it's my time to shine.
The Japanese guys were sitting there going like, wow, America's so cool. They can stage all this stuff.
Yeah.
They thought that the burnouts, and then the guys, all the fire and safety crews coming
Oh, they thought it was staged?
Scripted. They
Yeah,
thought it was part of the
dude.
show. And they're like, wow, they came up to me and he goes, we could never do a show like that in Japan. And we're like, yeah, we can't do that here either.
In retrospect, I just kind of like went there not knowing what to expect, and I mean I thought it was really, really sick. I thought, you know, I was like, cool, you know, hope it goes on, you know, and then we said peace.
The stunt guys that came were all they were sort of impressed with how everything ran, and they kind of liked it, you know?
Yeah.
And then I started looking into it, and I realized there's no series, or there had been one. XSBA had been around, but they quit. So I started talking to you about, why is there no series? What would it take to start a series? You know, and then we had GT Live coming up in '06 at Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a window of opportunity, and I think we just kind of talked about some basic parameters, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do one at Phoenix and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I was honestly like a little bit shocked when after Phoenix everybody was like, yeah, so East Coast is next, huh? And then we're like, oh shit, this is really going on. Yeah, then we went to VIR, and then we had to do Vegas for the finals.
Yeah. No, so I guess the way XDL turned into a series was just kind of out of necessity. I don't know. It just people wanted more. We have so many guys in XDL that came from a racing background. You know, Teach, Dan Jackson, and whatnot. But they just wanted more. They didn't just want, okay, I won this event. Well, I won this event. Well, I won this event. And when we presented them, I mean, you probably remember how simple it was. Like the guys got like free water at events, and like we had some Red Bull for them, and like, you know, no entry fees and stuff like that. It just like people knew that they were automatically, they felt like athletes as opposed to just showing up at an event and, you know, riding and just being unsafe and no ambulance there, and just we just set the standard and did the series, and now it's 5 years later, and I guess we kind of proved our point.
So USSRC or something. That's what I wanted to call it, right? So I call him up. I'm like, yo, okay, we'll do this. I'll call it the U.S. Stunt Riding Championship. And he's like, why would you want to do that? I went, just call it XDL. But I'm like, but it says drifting right in the middle of the name. And then I forgot what I don't know what you said that convinced me to keep it at XDL.
We had XSBA, Extreme Sport Bike Association, and one of the first events ever was WSRC in Oklahoma, World Stunt Riding Competition or whatever. And then there was, you know, the NSRA and just so many WSRA and SSB and just da-da-da-da and all this crap. And it's like, what's the point, dude? We already did this one event. The event was covered in magazines, there's videos out, and it was the XDL show. I just told you it had already made an impact as XDL show.
If you haven't caught on by now, it actually does stand for Extreme Drifting League. That was the original name. We've come full circle now, where they all drift, and now the name fits.
So that's what it is, man.
All right.
I hope everybody enjoyed the DVD and the TV show.
So do I. Thanks for buying it, by the way.
Yeah. Peace.
Just on the head, right?
Hey guys, I know you guys are out there checking these guys out, doing these wheelies. And you're wondering, you might say to yourself, oh, I want to try that, I want to do that. Well, Wheelie Teach, the guy Jeff Duzzy out of Ohio invented the Wheelie Teach. What it does is bolts onto the back swing arm and keeps you from looping your bike, and actually has 3 different stages to learn how to wheelie. Right now you'll see 6A out here, he's doing those little tiny baby wheelies, because the Wheelie Teach is on stage 1. Just get you used to the torque and the power of the bike. 6A is going to show us how it only takes one guy to switch the Wheelie Teach on the different stages for installing and uninstalling. The Wheelie Teach is made out of your mild steel, polyurethane wheels, built heavy duty, just in case you get a little confident in your clutching and your gassing, and you give it too much gas, you give it too much clutch, it doesn't break on you. Right now, today he's putting it on the advanced stage, level 3. This is going to take you to the balance point of the wheelie. Show these guys what that advanced stage looks like. Just so you know, the Wheelie Teach on this bike has 3 stages, like I said, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The first one you saw was beginner, this next one is advanced. This is done on a stock bike. That bike is stock gearing. It has its contraptions, the cage, the fairing state is 12 bar by 905. But as far as gearing, it is stock. CJ will do one more pass. Remember guys, ride safe, wear all your gear. Hope you guys like the Wheelie Teach.